Hello, and welcome back to Lovebug Tarot. So today we're going to be doing the week ahead. I feel like the Russian deck, this one here, the grid, if you will, gives a pretty good indication of kind of like what's going on. Well, they all do. Wait. I don't know. The grid system in this particular deck gives a lot of insight, I feel, especially when I'm asking for like what's going on in long-term collective. Hold on. There are dogs howling. Okay, so we have calmed the dogs down. We have several rescue animals in this house, and yeah, the dogs sometimes get very anxious and they start howling together for, you know, reasons. Right. So the square deck. If you haven't been here before, this is a Russian fortune-telling deck, and it's laid out in a grid pattern, and you turn the cards as the pictures match. There's actually 4 pictures, and they're all cut in half, and they match up. It's fun. I like it a lot. It's kind of like a little game. But we're going to be doing that. We're going to have an affirmation card for this week from our very sassy listen affirmation cards. And then also I will have the tarot deck in case I need clarification or anything. And we will also be pulling some runes. So we have Nordic runes and we also have Celtic runes. And I'm currently learning the Celtic runes, so they have some of their meanings on the back. But that's what we're going to be doing today. There are timestamps if anybody wants to jump ahead. By all means, I'm not going to hold you captive. But we're going to give everything a quick shuffle. And put those to the side for when we need them. Ooh, excuse me, confirmation bird. Oh, that one tasted like broccoli. All right, cool. Maybe that's relevant for someone. Is someone eating broccoli right now? Is that a thing? Okay, so this is the second edition. Okay, it was that bottom one that flipped out, so we're going to take that one. All right, sassy affirmation cards. What do we got this week? So, forgive and forget? Nah, forgive and effing thrive. I love that. And there's a little picture of a phoenix down here. That's freaking awesome. Okay, which is really interesting because I did a short this last week, and forgiveness was one of the key words that came up. So I wonder if that is a continuation of that read. We're going to find out. All right, we're going to set this. Yeah, it's in frame. The camera is back really far because this grid ends up being huge. So it's a little bit of a different format. And there are, I double checked, there are 50 cards in this deck. So it's a bit of a smaller deck. However, because each of the pictures can have 4 different meanings depending on where they land, that's math. Okay, that's 200 different meanings. So it's kind of like having 200 cards in a deck of 50. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm going to roll with it. All right. Okay. I'm going to scoop this up. And again, while I'm just shuffling things around, I have set up some stuff if people want to support. I do have a membership option available with Buy Me a Coffee. And I have links below, as well as like if you want to know the deck, you want to know any of the tools I'm using, I always put that in the description. So that is there. But the link for the Buy Me a Coffee will also be down there because we are going to have to get to 1,000 subscribers first before we can open up any kind of membership. So I figured that would be a good way to just start if people want to help out. And it's like $5 a month. And I'm posting extra content and behind the scenes stuff there like 3 times a week for members. Okay. All right. We're going to start laying out our grid. And then when I match a picture, I usually mark it with one of the runes. And the runes kind of help tell what's going on. Let me make sure that's in camera, because this grid's gonna be big. Okay. And everybody reads a little differently, but I tend to try to match the pictures as I go. Not everybody does, but I do. Okay, nothing here yet. And even if we don't get any pictures matching in the whole grid, I personally have never had that happen. You do read the last card that ends up here in the corner, and you read that in with all the pictures in their upright position. So there's always going to be something. You check. Yeah, it's all in frame. We have to play with our camera settings to try to figure out how to do this, but we're giving it a go. We're trying our best. Ooh. Eat. I got that crawfish. Okay. Oh, this one got 2. Okay. All right. So we got 2 Celtic runes. I'm still learning these, so I wrote them on the back like flashcards. Intensity, passion, shelter, magic, and health. Okay. With our crawfish. Let's see. Ooh. And if I'm never sure with some of the pictures, there are numbers here in the center. So, yep, that's the bear. Okay, so we got stuff happening. Oh, we got another 2. Okay, we got a Celtic and a Nordic rune. This one is Radiance, Growth, and Gebo, Gifts. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I think I need to find, maybe we'll put this over here. Yeah, I think that'll fit. No. And always, if you want to skip this part, that's fine. I will have timestamps for when I start reading, but right now we're kind of just laying stuff out. Ooh, the bridge. All right, laying stuff out. This one is Fehu. I'm a little dyslexic, so sometimes Anzus and Fehu kind of flip around in my brain. Yeah, okay, it's Fehu. Now I second guessed myself. Because of course I did. Okay, let's see. Ooh, we got... All right, so in this case, because this one's already matched and I'd have to turn the card this way, I'm going to put a marker here, because if the card is turned, this is the direction the picture would be facing. Ooh, all right. Ooh, we got the Celtic rune for terror and fear. Okay. Again, like this forgive and thrive thing, like, okay... Whoever this is for, you've been through some stuff. I feel like something big is changing. Just from what I can see right now. Because I get the book out. Because again, 200 meanings, I am not there yet to know every single one. I know some of them, but 200 meanings is a lot. Oops. Okay, let's see. No. Nothing there. Ah, close but new. And sometimes in the middle of the read, I'll also find pictures that match up, but I kind of have the philosophy of the pictures that come to me are the ones I'm supposed to see. I hopefully get them all. I will take some time and I'll pause the video and I'll come back, but I'll kind of just stare at this for a minute and try to find any pictures that I missed. Oops, gotta flip that over. Usually we do pretty good, but it's always good to take a little extra time. But I'll cut that out so you don't have to listen to silence. Unless you want to, and you can pause the video for an extra, like, minute or 2. And, like, I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. You're just... looking into the universe, and we're just asking to be like, can we have some guidance? Because it's a lot right now. Like everything, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. Sight the anchor. No, that one's up there. All right, so this one's our last picture. Sometimes pictures will line up with the last card. It's happened before in one of the reads, but I don't think it's this time. Okay, but we do pick to grab a rune. Oh, a lot of twos. Okay. Yira with cycles, and then this one is a Celtic rune with death, cycles, and rebirth. Wow, okay, so you got 2 runes of like cycles. So yeah, something coming on. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pause here, stare deeply into this, and see if I can pick out any other pictures that I might have missed. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. I think we got everything. Shoot, I just as I said that, I saw the pig. It always happens. I'm like, no, I got everything. I'm pretty sure. And yep, that's what happens. All right, we got the pig. I'm sure there was somebody screaming at the screen. Like, you missed it! Sorry. Okay, so we got the Celtic rune of shield and protection. Ooh, okay. All right. This is what happens. And then now I'm paranoid that I've still missed some. Okay. Do we need to take another minute? What's going on? Okay. I think we got everything. This is why it's kind of like a puzzle to me, and that's why I like this deck. It's like a puzzle, which is, I like puzzles. What can I say? I like puzzles. All right, so this is where I pull out the book. And yes, part of it is blacked out because I call it the Russian fortune-telling deck because when this was published back in the 90s, I think, from what I understand, the terms they use is not exactly complimentary. So, fair warning if you're considering getting this deck, that is a thing. So, just heads up. Okay, so we're going to start up here. It's kind of front-loaded, I feel this. So this week, the beginning of this week, might have some challenging energies coming in. Because if I remember correctly, the crawfish, crawdad, lobster, whatever you want to call it, I know those are very different things. This little crawfish. It's kind of like a pinch. Nothing like super dangerous, just again a challenging. Oh, excuse me. Confirmation burp. Something challenging. So the overall, there's typically a period of influence for each picture. And then the picture itself has a symbolic meaning and a whole. And then depending on how it's oriented, and there's little arrows here to help me out, that has another meaning. So there's like a couple different layers to each of the pictures depending on how they're laid out in the grid. So this is labeled as a crawfish from the south, crawdad. And it's short to life, but I'm feeling that this is a shorter period of influence. It's a symbol for coping with fate. The book is a little flowery in its language, so I'm going to do my best to interpret it because it can get a little interesting. So right now it's oriented to the, again, dyslexic, left, this way. Okay, so this, to the left, in the third position, there's 4 different positions. So the third position is delay is something designed by fate. So I have a feeling this is something about timing. Okay. And with the runes here of shelter and intensity and passion, I'm going to get, again, as we kind of go through the different pictures, we're going to pick up more meaning. But I'm getting a sense that there's been a pause maybe in your life. And part of that is like seeking shelter, like taking a moment to pause. Even if perhaps you were forced to do it, it's part of that kind of divine timing coming in. So let's pop over to the burr. Trying to also do this force. We're getting a storm right now, so I'm like, wind's picking up. Okay, so the bear has kind of a middle. So there's different levels. There's like an immediate influence, short, kind of middle, and then long term, and something like really long term, like something that's just lifelong. So this is middle. And the bear is a symbol for work, effort with good results. And it is pointing to the right. Your efforts will bear fruit. Ooh, okay. With the Celtic rune for radiance and growth and gift. Wow. Okay, that is, you can't see this, but I'm actually have my hands on either side of my face going like, "Oh my goodness." That's fantastic. And just, I know the bridge has a particular meaning in this, but with Fehu here, which is, your needs are being met, prosperity as well. I feel like this period of pause you've been in with the crawfish, say it as you want. Let me know in the comments if you say like crawdad, crawfish, crayfish, whatever it is. I call them crawfish. But I feel like with the crawfish, you're in this pause, and something this week, perhaps early this week, because again, a lot of stuff is kind of front loaded in the top of the grid. Something is coming in that you're going to start seeing the fruit of your labor. And with gift here, with the gift, okay. It might be something that, like, I want to say like you've planted seeds, but you haven't seen any growth from it yet. So whatever is coming in almost feels like a gift. Even though it's something because the intensity, you have intensity and passion here. So this is something you're passionate about. And intensity too. So it's not just like, oh, this is something I like to do. Like, this is something you can't not do. Like, you love doing it. There is a passion there. And you've been in maybe this like pause and just having to take, kind of slow down. And with the crawfish, again, because the little pinchers, it's that like you might be someone who has a hard time pausing. And I'm speaking to myself in this instant as well, where you might be a person who like has a hard time being still, and not being productive. Just, you perhaps were like in a household, and I just listened to someone talk about this morning. It was like you were raised in a household that if you were not productive, then you felt like either, or you were made to feel like you weren't going to get love or positive attention. So it's really difficult to pause because you feel like you're not doing enough. One of those situations. And I feel like the universe has stepped in and been like, we're going to put the brake on for you. And that can be really difficult. Oh God, that can be so difficult to work with. So I'm sending you huge hugs, because that can be a rough energy in itself. Even if someone might be like, oh my God, but you're rest, it's like, it's hard. It can be really hard. So that could be that like pinch, where you're sitting in, again, the rune of like shelter, and I see health. So maybe regaining your health because you paused. And even if you had to pause for your health, or you paused and realized you had to like regain some of your own vitality, however it looks like for you, because it's different for everybody. But I feel like this week something is growing, because the bear as well, the bear hibernates. Going back to this, shelter and kind of having to take a pause, you might have been in this metaphorical stage of hibernation. And now things are going to start to grow. So that is super exciting. I am really excited for you. Okay, let's go to 46 in the bridge, which is in the... Nope, that's 43. I can count. 43. 46. I'll get this number thing down one of these days. It's the third position. Okay, this one came up last week in the same position. Huh. Okay. That's really interesting. It's like there's there are 50 cards in this deck and 4 positions each. So there's 200 different possibilities, and the fact that within 2 weeks time, like last week, this picture came up in the same orientation again. So I'll link that video just in case there might be something in there for you. But that might be significant. Like if you did see that one and you're here, like maybe this is something ongoing for that particular person. So the bridge is the symbol for deliberate change. Ooh, okay, we got cycles and changes again. Okay. In the 3rd position, a quote from the book, "No matter where you go, the past will pursue you." And it, again, very flowery language. Because that always sounds like the past will pursue you. It sounds very ominous, and I'm not getting that energy at all from this. In this particular case, in this read. What? Okay, what's coming through? With Fehu, which is the rune of prosperity, you may be moving, again, this change, this deliberate change. You're making moves to change. Again, we were talking about like you've planted seeds and now you're starting to see things grow this week. And it could have been in the past. I'm getting a sense of like more mental, like your thoughts, the being stuck in the mindset of lack. That could have been something that kept you on one side of the bridge. But as you're crossing over into this new prosperous side, you're making those steps. You are making that change. And that could also be why you've had to take a pause. Because, that's a big mental shift. That's a big mental change. And that can be very exhausting to do that. I want to hold on. Let me get some tarot cards. Come on. Only half the pile shuffled, because of course it did. Can we get some clarification? Yep. Okay, so we have the Page of Coins, Page of Pentacles. All right, these two came out together. Yeah, okay, this pretty much confirms what I just said. But it's nice to have that confirmation. We have the Five of Wands and the Queen of Cups. So the Five of Wands is that, those daily annoyances, the competition. I just feel like a grind. Like the Five of Wands is just a grind, because Wands is about fire and passion. And when you're in a grind, it's really easy to have that passion kind of ground down. But you didn't let it go out. And I feel, again, we were talking about taking time to, maybe this was more emotional intensity, passion with the shelter, and taking a pause where you recovered emotionally from something. And that could be burnout. I could absolutely be burnout. And the Page of Pentacles is showing, again, that you're making the deliberate change and it's going to have a financial impact. So you're making wonderful, beautiful progress forward, and that is amazing. So, all right, let's look at the moon in 32. All right. So the moon in its whole is a symbol of peace, which I freaking love. And it's to the... Ooh, interesting. It's in the 3rd position. Okay. The quote here is, "Do not become despondent over a temporary setback." We have the rune. Okay, and we have the rune of terror and fear. Okay. Again, we were talking about having to take a pause and mentally kind of rebalance rebalance ourselves, and I'm speaking to myself as well. That's why I'm I feel like I'm being called out a little bit right now. And because it was affecting your peace, that burnout was affecting your peace. And it may have felt, that pause may have felt like a setback. But don't fear it, because it was necessary for you to move forward. And the dogs are barking again. Oh my God. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I'm a little out of breath because I have to run up and down the stairs to go calm them down. But it's interesting that that's been twice now that the dogs are usually fairly calm, but they'll start barking, but now they were howling, which they do. So yeah, I feel like that might be significant. There's been interruptions to something you were trying to do, and you just have to roll with it. You can't help it. Like, it's, they're rescue dogs, and they get nervous, and we have a storm rolling in, so like, you can't, there are circumstances that are outside of your control that you may not have any say or input in, and you just have to do your best. So I don't know, that might be a message for someone. And doing your best is your best, and that is awesome. All right, let's go over to the pig. Our little piggy. That was hiding for a bit. Okay, so the pig's symbol is about earthly pleasures. So pleasures in the physical realm. In the second position is purely an earthly happiness with shield and protect, the rune for shield and protection. Wow, okay. So this gift, this growth that is coming in, that these seeds you have planted that are coming to fruition, it is something in the physical realm. So this could be something in a career, in a job, something maybe doing money, again with the page of coins over here. And it is protected. I'm just getting a feeling like this is something that is meant to happen. And we had that message in the beginning with like divine timing, or just things happening in its own time, whether we like it or not. So it could be that you're coming out of, again, this kind of pause and moving into a period of really big growth, and maybe even rapid growth. And in a way, that pause was really necessary to prepare you for this kind of growth. Because if you had tried to do this like big growth or these gifts, whatever is coming in, maybe this fast, I'm just getting like a fast energy maybe. Yeah, with this fast energy, like trying to do it from a place of burnout, it may have made things worse. Or, it could have really, really affected your health. And the universe was doing its best to protect you and prepare you for this. And some of us, myself included, are really bad at taking breaks. And so I've definitely had a couple times in my life where I have been forced to take a break. I have been forced to make a change or a move. And in hindsight, it was absolutely the best call. I've just learning to kind of, again, we were talking about like kind of going with the flow. Okay, so that is that. Let's look at our last card here. Interesting. Okay. So we do have Yira and the Celtic rune for death, cycles, and rebirth. Yira is also like harvest. So it's cycles. It's something cyclical. It can also symbolize like a year's time. So this could be something that's been like a long time in the making. Not something you started yesterday, but something that's you've been planting seeds for a while. So there's this buildup. All right, so let's look at 11, which is branches. And these are all going to be read in their upright position. Okay. Reconciliation or unpleasantness in family relations is its symbol. So yeah, like a tree, family tree is the way I kind of remember it. In its upright position, position 1, it's making up after a quarrel. So it does not have to be, I know it says family here, But this doesn't necessarily have to be your blood family. This could be a family of choice, a found family. Something turning. Again, if there's been a separation of some kind or a distance, whether that's mentally, emotionally, maybe you cut someone off, or or physical distance where you actually physically, moved away from someone. So that might be just for some people. I'm not getting necessarily the family reunion kind of vibe here for the majority of people for this read, for the collective. But that could be for some people. In this case, the making up after a quarrel, or something that, all right, how do I phrase this? Something that something you had to take a step back away from, or maybe you got burned out and you just kind of lost the passion for it. You lost that spark for it, or maybe forgot why you did it in the first place. You had to take a moment to remind yourself why you were passionate about this thing. And in a way, it's all coming back. What is that song? It's all coming back to me now. Was it moments of gold and there were flashes of... I'm trying to remember that. Is it Mariah Carey? No. Is it? I remember songs. I don't necessarily remember the artist or the band that sings it. If you know that song, if you know the song that's going in my brain right now, let me know in the comments. It's going to bug me. All right, and then 10 with the scythe. Ooh, okay. This is interesting because, again, we had up here with the bridge. It was like your past is pursuing you. Things, in the past don't just stay in the past unless you address it. So in the first position, again, don't panic. It says in the book, evil fate pursues you. As again, this book is very flowery in its language. I see that as things just left and not addressed, whether they're mental, emotional, physical, they do have a tendency to come back up and kind of bite you in the ass if you just if I just leave it alone and forget about it, it'll go away. It's like, no. It has a tendency to wrap itself back around and come back. So this could be something that you've had to address. This, crossing the bridge. This message came up last week. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. That mentality. And it's like, well, now it's time to cross the bridge. Now it's time to address the past, to address either people from your past, past ways of thinking. And it's really interesting because, again, we had the card over here with the affirmation. It's like, forgive and forget. Nah, forgive and effing thrive. So if there were people in your past who were a part of that mental conditioning of, oh, you can only be successful if you're productive, or very critical of what you were doing, if it wasn't perfect, then why try at all? That kind of, if that was part of that, then it could be that something is coming back and bring that to the forefront for you to address it, for you to confront it and be like, you know what? No, I'm not having it. So there's definitely, this is a wonderful growth, but it's not without its challenges. And I'm getting the feeling that these are challenges that you are going to face and, again, overcome. Forgive and effing thrive. All right, so 21 with the mountain. Okay, yeah, all these symbols are kind of linked together in a lot of ways. Again, with these cycles, this death and rebirth kind of confirmation prayer. This death and rebirth energy that's coming through the runes here, and the cycles, the harvest, but the harvest comes from planting seeds. And this death and rebirth, it's like something is let go so something else can come in. The mountains overall is a symbol for danger. And in its upright first position, it says a treacherous enemy is trying to catch you. Be on guard. So this could be, again, what we were just talking about with something coming back, you know, a person, a situation, or even just something that kind of sets that trigger off. You need to confront it. You know, you can be on guard, but don't just dismiss it. And it could be setting a boundary. It could be, you know, talking to a mental health professional. It could be grounding. Could be all three. Could be all of them. You know, but it's something, it says to be on guard. So just if something comes up, again, be on your guard. Be like, okay, I know what this is. I know what's going on. And you can take that step back. And this could be linking back here where it says take a pause. Take a pause, take a breath, then come back to it. And we have 7 with the snake. Woo, sneaky snake. Okay. Yeah. So this could, this could be talking about person. And I'm going to get some cards because the snake's overall symbol is a symbol for an attack by someone. And in its upright position, in position 1, it's a verbal sting by a malicious person. So this could be someone says something, you know, someone tries to come back into your life being like, oh, all charming, but then they slip up and say something. You're like, oh, you haven't changed. You haven't changed at all. And it could be because you have this gift coming in, because it says forgive and forget. Nah, forgive and effing thrive. It's you can forgive this person, this situation, whatever it is. You can forgive for yourself. You know, the people are complicated, people are messy, but that doesn't mean it doesn't mean you have to, what I'm trying to say? Just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you have, like, you just, you know, forgive and forget. It's the forgive and everything goes back to the way it was. It's like, no, I can forgive you and I can set a boundary and I can take a step back. You know, the 2 opposing things can be true at once. You can forgive someone and you can love them. You can be like, that's great and wonderful. I wish the best. And you can, you know, walk away from that. It's going to be unique to everybody's situation. But I do love that we've got such a cyclical, like, things turning. I get the sense of, like, things, again, this idea of, like, a cycle. A cycle is ending for something else to come in. All right. Can we get any, like, final words or thoughts? Oh, we were going to ask about this, if this is a person. And for some of you, it may be situations. Again, this is a general read for the week ahead. So the week might kind of start off challenging, but it is not something to shy away from. You've got this. Oh my God. 9 of Pentacles. Heck yes. Justice. Beautiful. And the Lovers. Okay. This is great. And you have 2 of these are major arcanas too. The 9 of Pentacles, again, we had this money here. It's you are moving to independence in your physical realm. Financially, and justice with the balance. Again, we were talking about, like, rebalancing yourself. Things brought to light. Justice being served in a way. And not justice that, like, you're not dishing this out. This is like karma, I feel, in a lot of ways. And with the Lovers is about choice. You get to choose. You get to choose how this interaction with this person, this situation goes down. Okay. So anything, I mean, it's a little bit of a heavy message, so it's, but you're having some amazing stuff come out of this. Temperance. Wow. Okay. Yeah. This balance, the 7 of Wands, you are protected. And the Sun. Yeah. You are going to be amazing in this. Remember to keep your balance. A lot of balance cards here right now. Keep your balance, keep your peace with the Moon. Don't be afraid of things that come back up from the past. You can address it. You can heal from it. You can work with it. You can set those boundaries and you're protected. Protect yourself and you will be protected. And we have the Knight of Coins at the bottom of the deck. So this is a steady progress forward, both in your physical realm and in your mental and emotional realm. So that is the week ahead. Kind of got into it there, so apologize for all of the interruptions. Yeah, but let me know about that song. Let me know who sings that song. I want to know. And if something in here resonated, or if you have questions about any of the tools I use, again, I have a Buy Me a Coffee where I'm actually talking about the Celtic runes. I figure if I can teach other people it'll stick with me a little better. So please like and subscribe. It's super helpful for the channel, and also you can do the bell icon. So I am going to try to do long format reads twice a week, shorts twice a week, and then post 3 to 4 times a week in the membership as well. Kind of give people some little extras in there. So thank you again. Take some time for yourself this week. Breathe. Keep your balance. Keep your peace. Keep your boundaries. And no matter what comes up, know that you're going to get through this. Okay? So I'm sending you a lot of love, a lot of positive energies. And yeah, I'm going to be breathing there right with you. So until next time, bye.